There is a secret about life that a handful of people seem to understand. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You might wonder, what is this hidden knowledge? What do they perceive that I am missing? The irony is profound, because the question itself is the very barrier. The awakened individual isn't privy to a secret dimension. They aren't gazing at a different world. They are looking at the very same reality as you, but they have ceased adding something to it. They see what is actually present, without the constant hum of interpretation. Let me offer you a different way to look at this. Consider a simple rose. Most of us never truly see the rose. We see the label. We recognize the category of flower. We think about its scent, its thorns, its symbolic meaning. We have layered our ideas on top of the direct experience, and in doing so, we have missed the essence of the thing itself. The person who is truly present encounters that same rose and perceives its raw, unfiltered reality. They see the stunning complexity of its form, the subtle gradients of color, the way light dances on its surface. In that moment, it becomes the most astonishing phenomenon in existence. They aren't gaining something new. They are losing the noise that was always there. They are subtracting the constant commentary of the conceptual mind. This leads us to a startling realization. The majority of humanity is sleepwalking. They are entranced by language, by labels, by the endless stream of their own internal dialogue. They mistake the map for the actual landscape. It is as if a person had only ever read descriptions of snow, then one day steps outside into a blizzard and feels the cold on their skin. They would gasp, "This is nothing like what I read." That is the nature of this shift. It is the difference between the description and the living event. And the fascinating part is, you have almost certainly tasted this. Everyone has had flashes where the world suddenly becomes vibrant, immediate, and rich. Perhaps during a moment of intense focus in a sport, or when beholding a breathtaking sunset, or in a sudden, quiet instant of connection. The internal chatter halts, and there is only the profound presence of what is. Young children exist in this state naturally. Watch a toddler completely captivated by a floating dust mote or the sound of rain. They are wholly absorbed, fully in the now. They have not yet learned to replace direct sensation with a web of concepts. But then we socialize them, we train them, we instruct them to live in a world of memories and expectations, to reside anywhere but this present moment. And slowly, that innate capacity for direct perception dims, and they enter the common dream. The awakened person has, for whatever reason, snapped out of this collective slumber, maybe through a profound loss, a period of deep contemplation, or simply a moment of grace. The method is irrelevant. What matters is the realization. The standard way we are taught to engage with existence is merely one option, and a rather limited one at that. They have discovered that their internal descriptions of the world are not the world itself. And here is a point that often causes great confusion. The awake person recognizes that the separate, isolated self we believe in is not as solid as it seems. Now, I am not claiming you don't exist. I am suggesting that this powerful sensation of being a solitary I, a captain locked inside a body, distinct from everything else, that feeling is a construct. It is a persuasive story, but a story all the same. You see, we are conditioned to believe we are the little narrator in our skull, the voice that is always judging, planning, and worrying. We assume that this voice is the core of our identity. But the individual who is present has realized they are not that voice. The voice is a content that appears within their field of awareness. It is not the awareness itself. Ponder this. You can witness your thoughts arising and passing. If you can observe your thoughts, then you cannot be your thoughts, can you? The observer is distinct from the observed. The awake person has found they are the space of consciousness in which the entire show of life unfolds: thoughts, emotions, the senses, the whole cosmos. You are not a tiny object in the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself. This is not a claim of grandiosity. It is the exact opposite. It is the crumbling of the ego, the understanding that your fundamental nature is far more basic than the personal character you have been playing, the role with a name and a past. The awake person sees through the illusion of the skin-bound self. They understand that the line we draw between in here and out there is a useful convention, not an absolute truth. The air you inhale becomes part of you. The words you speak become part of the world. When you eat a piece of bread, the bread is transformed into your energy. Where does your being end and the rest of existence begin? The boundary is imaginary. We create it for practical purposes, but the natural world operates as a continuous whole. And when this is not just an idea in your head, but a felt truth in your body, your entire relationship with life transforms. You understand you are not an alien in a foreign universe. You are not a random fluke of biology. You are a manifestation of the totality, just as a whirlpool is a temporary expression of the river. This brings us to another thing that spiritually awake people perceive: the fundamental oneness of everything. Not a poetic unity, but the actual functional interdependence of all phenomena. You cannot have light without shadow. You cannot have sound without silence. You cannot have creation without dissolution. These are not separate forces that later meet. They are inseparable facets of a single dynamic process. Most people view reality as a bag of separate marbles that sometimes bump into each other. They see themselves as one marble and everything else as other marbles. But the awake person sees this as like saying the top of a mountain is separate from the mountain itself. They are one entity. In the same way, all the seemingly distinct objects and events are facets of one single unfolding reality. And this realization alters how you move through the world. When you feel that you are not separate from your environment, your actions naturally change. Causing harm to another becomes as unthinkable as harming your own body. This isn't an ethical rule imposed from a holy book. It is the most rational form of self-interest. Once you grasp what the self truly encompasses, another thing the awake person intuits is the deep, inherent wisdom of the natural order. We are taught to believe that awareness is a rare accident, something that only flickers to life inside the brains of animals. The rest of the cosmos is supposedly inert, mechanical, and unconscious. This is a very peculiar notion if you sit with it. How could conscious life spring from utterly lifeless material? How could wisdom emerge from absolute ignorance? It is like expecting to draw water from a stone. The awake person senses that consciousness must be a primary quality of the cosmos, not a latecomer. The universe must be aware at its core, or awareness could never have manifested within it. Look at the incredible processes of your own body. You do not consciously command your cells to divide or your immune system to defend you. All of that occurs with a flawless, spontaneous intelligence. The very same intelligence that guides the migration of birds and the unfolding of a galaxy is the intelligence that is breathing you at this very moment. You are not doing it. It is happening through you. The awake person sees that they are not steering their life in the way they imagined. The sense of a separate doer is just another appearance in consciousness. In truth, your life is being lived by life itself, just as a melody is being played by the air. This might initially sound frightening. People ask, if I'm not in control, then what? Am I just a puppet? But this question still comes from the old perspective of separation. What the awake person knows is that the dancer and the dance are not two. The universe is not coercing you. You are the activity of the universe, right here and now. When this is seen, there is an immense sense of relief, a profound unclenching. All the pressure to constantly make the right choice, to manage your life perfectly, it simply evaporates. You realize you cannot truly fail because you are not separate from the unfolding process. You cannot do anything other than what you do because you are not separate from the source of the action. This does not make you apathetic. It makes you fluid, authentic, and remarkably free. The spiritually awake person also sees through the conventional illusion of time in a deep way. We imagine time as a linear arrow shot from yesterday toward tomorrow, and we are passengers on the arrow. But in direct experience, there is only this: the past is a story remembered now. The future is an image projected now. Both exist only as present moment mental events. The awake person inhabits the present fully because they see it as the only place where existence is actually happening. Most people are never truly present. They are lost in the archives of memory or the blueprints of anticipation. They are ruminating on what was or anxious about what will be. And all the while, life is unfolding in this eternal now, and they are missing the entire performance. They are missing the miracle of this single breath, this sensation, this sight. The awake person has somehow returned home to the here and now. They have recognized that this moment is all that exists, and it is utterly complete. In fact, it is perfect, just as it is. This doesn't mean they are irresponsible. It means they do not mistake their plans and memories for the living truth. Reality is always and only now. And when you truly settle into this present moment, something remarkable occurs. The mental noise subsides. The endless stream of judgment pauses, or at least becomes background static. And there is just this open, aware space in which the entire world is appearing. And you realize that this aware space is what you have always been. It has been here your whole life, but you were too preoccupied with the content of your thoughts to notice the context. This awareness is utterly simple, completely ordinary, and yet it is the most fundamental reality you will ever know. The present moment is the only time that is real. It is the screen on which the movie of your life plays. Without it, there would be no experience, no world, no self. And it is what you are not as a thought or an object, but as pure, silent presence. The spiritually awake person abides as this awareness. They find their identity not in the passing drama of thoughts and feelings, but in the silent witness to which all of it appears. And from this vantage point, everything is transformed. Challenges do not vanish, but they lose their weight. Physical pain may still arise, but it is not compounded by mental resistance and stories about the pain. Pleasure is felt more deeply because there is no clinging, no fear of its end. Life becomes a creative expression, a divine game, not meaning it is trivial, but meaning you no longer confuse your role with your fundamental identity. You see that you are playing a part, but you are boundless behind it. You can engage with the world completely, passionately, and yet not be trapped by it, not be defined by it. This is what the spiritually awake person sees. They perceive reality without the filter of the mind. They see the interconnectedness of all life. They see that awareness is the ground of being. They see that the separate self is an illusion. They see that the eternal now is the only time. And they see that what they most deeply are is the consciousness in which the entire universe is born. And the beautiful, maddening, and wonderful truth is that I can describe all of this to you, and it will mean nothing until you discover it for yourself. These words are just more signposts, more descriptions of the meal. The actual feast is waiting for you right here, in this very instant if you would only stop reading the menu and take a bite. So, pause, look at what is actually before you, listen to the sounds that are actually here, feel the sensations that are present, and in that direct, unmediated contact with life, you might just stumble upon what those who are awake have always known, that you are life itself, looking out from behind these eyes. If this resonated, please like this video and follow Winds of Thought for more journeys inward.